Setting up an LED light strip can really change the look and feel of a room. Until now, you've been able to buy LED light strips with built-in drivers in them that you can connect to your smart home system. Now, Zemismart has released a new product that enables you to use whatever light strip that you want. Their new product is a standalone LED driver with Matter. The idea behind this product is that you buy the LED driver itself and then connect whatever light strip that you want to use. Zemismart has sent me their LED driver for me to have a look at. So how easy is it to set up? How well does it perform? And is it worth getting for your smart home? So before we set up the device, let's have a look at what you get in the box when you buy from Zemismart. This is the box itself, and as you can see here on the front, it says Matter. Now this is Matter over Wi-Fi and not Matter over Thread. On the sides of the box, you will see some information and some specifications. We'll get into those in a moment. There's not much on the bottom. So yeah, it's a fairly small package. On the inside, you'll see your Matter code on the box itself. You have the LED driver itself with another Matter sticker on it. And underneath the LED driver, you'll get a manual with another Matter sticker. And this is the user manual with instructions on how to set up the device. Yeah, I don't think we're going to need this. I think that most of the setup process will be fairly easy to do. And this is the device itself. So it's not too big. It's actually fairly small. I think it's an okay size. On the front, you'll see the Matter code that you'll have to hang on to, because if you ever reset this device and want to set it up again in a different location or in a different smart home system, you'll need the Matter code. You have two options for powering this device. You can either use a barrel jack or screw terminals. This device accepts 12 and 24 volts DC power. You won't get a power supply with the device, you'll have to supply that yourself. Luckily, whenever you buy an LED light strip, they usually come with a power supply. So I bought my light strip in a hardware store, and it came with a power supply that I'm going to use with this device itself. On the front, you'll find a set of terminals, and this is where you'll connect your LED strip. Zemismart makes two variants of this LED driver. One that supports RGB and warm and cool colors, and one that only supports warm and cool colors. Zemismart sent me both of these devices, but I will be looking at the RGB plus cool and warm colors today. But otherwise, they function in the same way. It's just the color support that is different. Even though this is RGB with cool and warm colors, this will also work with an RGB only LED strip. In fact, my LED strip is an RGB only LED strip. So if you have an RGB plus warm and cool, it works with this LED driver. And if you only have an RGB color strip, this will also work with this LED driver. Another thing that you need to keep in mind when buying this device is that this is a 12-volt output, meaning that the LED driver or the LED strip that you will be connecting to this driver has to be compatible with 12 volts. So if you have a 5-volt or 24-volt LED strip, this will not work. It needs to be 12 volts. Luckily, those are extremely easy to find, and you can buy them off really cheap off of Amazon, or probably find them in your local hardware store. I got an LED strip from a local hardware store, and it is 12 volts, as you can see, and this cost me $60 or something like that. So it's extremely cheap. The price of these two LED drivers also differ a bit. At the moment, if you buy them off directly from Zemismart's own website, the RGB plus warm and cool colors will set you back $17, and the warm and cool colored LED driver is at the moment $19. When connecting an LED strip to your controller, you'll quickly find out that the end of an LED strip is not the same as the true terminals on the LED driver. And that's because you need an adapter to connect the LED strip. I found this adapter very cheap from Amazon, which is a clamp on one end that you can use to clamp onto the LED strip, and then just some exposed wires on the other end. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to insert the LED strip into this clamp adapter and close it. And now I have each of the channels on the LED strip exposed through the wires here. All I have to do now is match up the description on each of the channels on the LED strip with the description here on the front of the device. So now this LED strip is connected to the LED driver, and all I have to do now is plug it into power and connect it via Matter to my smart home system. I'm intending to set up this light strip in my bedroom, so this is where I'll try and connect it to the Matter controller that I'm using. I'm using the SmartThings hub to connect it to the SmartThings platform. But you can also use a Google Home Nest Hub if you have that as a Matter controller, or an Apple HomePod, or a hub from Zemismart themselves. So just as long as you have a Matter controller, you'll be able to add this device to your smart home system. I have the LED driver here with the LED strip attached to it, and I also have the power supply plugged in, and I'm ready to plug it into the LED driver itself. So it's important to notice that if you have an LED strip with RGB only and no warm and cool whites, this LED strip will not light up when you plug it in. This doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It just means that all that this LED driver is doing on startup is trying to light up the warm and cool whites. But since this LED strip doesn't have that, this won't light up. So now I'm going to head over to my SmartThings app and add the device as a Matter device. And it should read the Matter code fairly easily. So after a few seconds, the device will be registered as a Zemismart lightstrip driver, and SmartThings will begin to connect this device to the app. And after a few seconds, I think that was probably 5 to 10 seconds, the device should be added to SmartThings. So I'm just gonna name it Zemismart lightstrip driver 1, just so I know it for testing purpose. And I'm gonna hit done. So now the driver is added to SmartThings, and if you look at the app, it says that the lightstrip driver is on when the lightstrip obviously isn't activated. And that's because it has turned on the white and cool colors of the lightstrip, which again is not connected to anything. So if I try to change the color, the lightstrip should turn on. And it does. And since this is connected to SmartThings via Matter, and I have enabled connection between Google Home and SmartThings via the app, I should be able to control this light strip without any problems via my voice on Google Assistant. Hey Google, turn on the semi-smart light strip. Hey Google, set the semi-smart light strip to green. So the voice interactions work. So I haven't encountered any problems with setting up the LED driver when testing this device. The only thing you have to be aware of when setting it up is that this only supports 2.4 GHz network and not 5 GHz networks. So if you are on a device that is connected to Wi-Fi via the 5 GHz network, you have to be on the 2.4 GHz when setting it up. Otherwise, the connection will fail. So just keep that in mind. My plan with the light strip is to mount it underneath the closets here so that I can have a night light, for example, if I need it. So I'm going to mount it from one end of the closets to the other end of the closets and see how it looks. And yes, I am wearing Christmas themed socks while I'm setting this up during the summer. I'm really happy at how this turned out. The colors are great and the brightness is great as well. I'm going to pair this light strip with a motion sensor so I can create some interesting automations. During the night I would probably want a reddish light to not mess with my night sight. So having a reddish light turn on when I exit the bed will be the main way that I will be using this strip, I think. So to summarize, what do you think of the Zemismart LED light strip driver? I think this is a really interesting product. I like how small it is and I like how inexpensive it is. Actually, I think the LED strips that you will be buying for this device is more expensive or just as expensive as this device. So the LED driver itself is not too expensive for most people to get. So that's a big plus in my books. Another big plus that I really like that Zemismart has been doing a lot recently is releasing Matter devices. So I personally think that Matter is the future of smart home tech, and I do think that getting more devices with Matter is a good thing for the consumer. So I really like that this is a Matter over Wi-Fi device. One thing I don't really like about the device is the lack of mounting options. You can't get a mounting bracket for this device and there are no mounting holes on the back of it. That means that if you do install this under a cabinet, for example, you do need to use double-sided tape. So that's a bit of a bummer for me at least. But otherwise, this is a fairly lightweight device, so most cheap double-sided tape will probably be able to hold this in place. I will definitely be keeping my LED light strip driver and I will maybe be looking into getting more of them because I like how it works and I like how easy it is to set up and I like how you can choose whatever light strip that you do want to use in your home. But that is all for now, so thank you for watching and see you next time.